joined here today by the one and only, the brand new CFFC light heavyweight champion, Mike Biggie Rhodes. Thank you so much for joining me, man. How are you?
No problem, man. Thanks for having me. I'm good. Just got back to Iowa, so getting ready to spend Thanksgiving with the family.
Of course, man. I assume for the timing must be pretty great. We know a lot of fighters, especially around this time, they miss out on the Christmas dinners, they miss out on Thanksgiving. What was that feeling like when you knew that you'd be able to fight and then you'd be able to celebrate everything?
Um, that I mean, honestly, it was like perfect timing. I've been telling everybody that, through my fight career, I've missed many of Thanksgivings, many of Christmases, and I'm happy that I'm able to fight, win, and get to enjoy Thanksgiving, so I can eat all the good food. Then my birthday is next week, so it's just like a double whammy of perfect timing with the fight being done and over.
Yeah, for sure. What's the plan for Thanksgiving? I mean, do you have family that comes to you? Do you go to see family? What's kind of the plan?
No, I drove back to Iowa yesterday to be with my family, so I'm actually going to be here all week, and so we'll just do Thanksgiving at my mom's house. Have my sisters and my nieces and all their children and kids and our immediate family come over there and just pig out on some food.
For sure, man. Are you going to be doing any cooking at all, or is that just left to the other family members?
Nah, my mom Dukes does all the cooking for Thanksgiving. I cook the healthy stuff and all that, but when it comes down to it, man, mom's the cooker in the family. So we're gonna let her continue to make Thanksgiving an enjoyable time. My sisters just bring the sides, but mom's the cook.
For sure. A lot of people they mention that the most important dishes are actually, like you mentioned, the sides, like the macaroni and cheese and stuff. What's kind of the things that you're looking forward to?
Mac and cheese, stuffing, greens, collard greens, man, you name it, sweet potatoes, sweet potato pies. Just man, my mom gets down. It ain't just like, you know, the turkey and it's gonna be turkey, it's gonna be chicken, it's gonna be ham. I mean, we have everything, so we won't have a shortage of any dish. And I'm gonna have a couple plates.
For sure, man. Yeah, I'm sure you're looking forward to it. But let's talk about this fight, man. CFFC, you're the champion now, but you also got to do this fight for the troops. What did you think about doing that whole fight for the troops? I believe it was the first time they've done anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was great. I had never, been a part of a fight night for the troops. It was on a joint military base in a hangar. Walked out of a Chinook. It was pretty dope. I think it was a good turnout. I think it was a good event. It was a great card. All the fights were finishes, and I got to cap off the night by getting the knockout win in the second round. They went crazy. It was a great time. So yeah, I can't.
So with the crowd in this case being the troops, I mean, did you guys feel like it was a different atmosphere than it would say at a regular event?
Um, Maybe they were just more in tune. Like they were just loud and excited and there for every fight. Normally when you fight, you're in some other state or some other city, and like they might cheer for a couple of the home guys, but the troops are just cheering for everybody. They just want a good fight. So it was a good night, good energy throughout the whole card.
For sure. And so you were fighting for the vacant light heavyweight title. What was kind of the pressure like going into this fight, knowing that this is your chance to go into this organization, first fight with them, and getting the championship belt?
No pressure for me, man. I fought all over the world. I fought at every level. So the belt was just the end result of a win. At the end of the day, for me, it was just about getting a win, and that just happened to be on the line. But for me, um, you know, whether that's on the line or not, I'm there to get W. So as long as I win, the rest of the stuff will come along with it. So it was just a great opportunity to fight, get a win, and just be victorious and look forward to the next one.
And so we know you got the second round knockout. How do you look back at your performance in this one?
My first round was rough. I started slow. I said that in my post-fight interview. He came out guns a blazing. He landed some takedowns, some little foot sweeps, but nothing that we didn't expect. Like I told my corner right before we went out, like yo, he knew, he was good at foot sweeps, and I was like, I welcome him taking me down to the ground. Like I'm not gonna fight it too hard because I knew I was the better grappler, and so and I knew he would come out. He was a little bit bigger than me. I figured that. I figured he would be strong. So in the first round, I wanted to make him carry my weight. I wanted to make him clinch. I wanted to make him have to make explosive movements, and it paid him. It paid off. He got tired. You can see him between the first and second round. He was breathing really hard, leaning back up against the cage, and I knew that at that point, from there on out, it was time to go get him. So came out a little bit more aggressive in the second round and landed that left hook that put him on the ropes. And I got a killer instinct like nobody else, man. So I went and put him away.
And so when you're going for that finish, does it kind of sink in that you're about to become champion? I mean, this obviously it's a victory. We know it's a good thing, but does it sink in that you're going to be champion, or does that kind of come a little bit later after the fight's been stopped?
Yeah, no, in that moment, I'm just thinking kill, man. I'm thinking hit him clean, hit him right, hit him hard, and just keep on going until the ref saves him. Like for me, there's nothing crossing my mind other than getting him out of there. So when you start thinking about other stuff, that's when you miss, that's when you lose, that's that's when you get knocked out yourself. When you make those kind of mistakes. So I'm a veteran. I knew to aim and fire and get him out of there.
And so when were you surprised when you signed with CFFC that they allowed you to fight for the belt for the first fight? Sometimes organizations like you to get a few fights. I mean, were you surprised at all?
Nah, my name rings. A lot of people know who I am. So I bring a certain notoriety when I come to fight. Not only my name, but my gym's name, my reputation, my fight style. I warrant things like that, so I'm not surprised about them. I've been in the fight game long enough that um, when you speak Mike Biggie Rhodes, you understand what you're going to get. So why not have somebody with name notoriety as your champion? It made sense for them more so than it made sense for me to actually fight for a title. But it just worked out.
And so you're with CFFC now. Are you on a multi-fight deal? Do you have to renegotiate for this next fight? What's it kind of looking like right now with this organization?
No, it was a two-fight deal, so I'll defend the title, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what's next. Unless I get approached by a major organization in which I would have to talk to CFFC about and see what their thoughts is about it. But as of right now, I'm just looking forward to Thanksgiving, chilling with my family, and then getting back to training and figuring out what's next.
And there is something I'm curious about that I wanted to ask you about. It seems like a lot of guys, when they compete in the UFC, they compete in Bellator. Once they're kind of outside of that, it seems tough to kind of pin down a multi-fight deal. You know what I mean? It seems like you're taking a fight here and there. What's going on with that? Is that a certain reluctance from the promoters to sign longer contracts? I mean, what's going on there? How come we don't see guys get pinned down to longer fight deals?
No, because guys are smart. Why get pinned down to a smaller organization that can't pay you an extensive amount of money? It doesn't make sense to be locked down to a smaller promotion. They don't put on fights as often. They don't fight you as often, and they take away opportunities a lot of the time from fighters because they won't let them go fight when they get other opportunities. So it's smarter not to sign multiple fight deals with smaller organizations. You should only sign major organizations if you're going to do more than you know 3 or 4 fights. You need to be making sure you're making enough money during that time to sustain yourself. If not, it makes no sense to sign with a smaller organization for more than 2 fights.
And so, at what point in your career did you realize that? I mean, did you have someone come say that to you, or is that just something you kind of figure out with experience?
No, I knew that from the jump. Like I said, I've been in this fight game for a while, and I'm a smart guy, so I understand business, and that's what this is. So, if you're smart about your business, you're on top of these things. If you're not, then, you get the fighters that complain about not getting fights or not being able to fight elsewhere because they locked themselves into a deal. You got to be smart.
And I was listening to an interview yesterday, but with one of your teammates, it was Gerald Mearshart with the score, and he was saying that we could see you dropping down to 185, fighting for a belt down there. What's kind of going on with that? What's the plan there?
Yeah, I think I'm more of a natural 185er. Obviously I'm big enough to fight at 205, but you saw in the last fight that dude he had a pretty decent size advantage on me. I fought some big 85ers, even some big 70ers, but I think 85 is where I can be most successful. But now in the mean run, I know I can compete at 205, so I'll fight at 205 or 185. I'll talk to CFFC and see what they want to do next. But if they will allow it, I'll go and be the champ. I'll go and defeat their 185 champion, or I'll defend at 205. We'll kind of see what's going on with that, and honestly, I'll just see how my body feels. See if my body's ready to go back down to 185, or if I need to do a couple more at 205. getting a little bit older, not enjoying too much of the weight cuts and stuff like that. So right now, 205 is nice, and if I can get my natural walk around weight down, I'll go back to 185 and fight there too.
And we know that 2019 is coming to an end. That's probably we're not going to see you fight again this year. I believe you went 2-0. How do you sort of look back on the year 2019 for yourself professionally?
Two wins. That's all I needed, man. Is I needed victories. I would have liked to fight more, but that wasn't in the cards. Got to fight twice. I got 2 wins. That's a successful year for me. I'm going into this new year healthy, so we'll see if I can't ring off a couple more than that. But ultimately, I want to be successful as far as these fights. I want to win, so I'm not in a rush to do anything. I'm still getting better. Still learning my body, learning the game, and so we'll fight when I'm ready.
All right, now just one more for you. We know you've got holidays spent with your family and everything, but what's next for you at this point? When do you think we'll see you fight again?
I'm not sure. I gotta sit back, make sure my body's fully healthy. I'm only a couple days out of the fight, so you never go into a fight fully healthy. So I got a couple things that I need to just shore up. Working with team rehab in Tulsa, getting my body fine tuned after the holiday, getting back in shape, get moving, see how the body feels. Hopefully, maybe into February or March or something like that, I'll get my first one, and then we'll start stringing them together from there.
All right, that sounds good. Well, thanks so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on becoming champion, and have fun with all these holidays, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.